Man, I mean, this is the heart of country music, man. I mean, outlaw country, man, that was always about, what you weren't allowed to do because, man, screw the man if they don't want you to smoke weed or they don't want you, shooting guns, man. That's an outlaw country sound. Now, the thing is, in this day and age, I mean, weed's legal, sex is legal, hell, everything's legal. You can cut your goddamn ding-a-ling off and they'll celebrate you, man. But you know what? The only thing that is really and truly outlawed right now, Harrison, and that is the truth. And the God's honest truth is the most outlawed thing in this world. And that's why, as a country singer and as an artist, I feel necessary to spread my word out there and to get the truth, the real truth, and nothing but the truth, brother.
Smoke that opium, smoke that opium, hold it in tight before they put out your lights. One more hit of the dream, let it burn real slow. Deep
Folks,
state.
that was the first breakout hit of our next guest. You may think you know him, you don't. His name's Matt Baker, but he's not Matt Baker you know. No, he's that Matt Baker's cousin. It's Matt Baker with 3 T's, so as not to be confused with his much less impressive and charismatic cousin with the same name. He's a musician, an artist, and a patriot, known for his work as the frontman for the Matt Baker and the Black Pillars. His first hit song, Smoking Hopium, you just heard there. His latest release is called Taxes to Pedophiles, and it's skyrocketing to the top of the charts. They're our own charts, but they count. He has worked in collaboration with many people, including QAnon Shaman, Luke Slywaker, Morgan Ariel, and Thomas Massey. His goal is to revive the outlaw country sound, focusing on the most outlawed thing in the world, which is the truth. Let's go now to his latest hit. You can find and share this on his X account at slave_2_liberty. It's called Taxes to Pedophiles, now available on all platforms like Spotify and streaming. And if you want to use this in your videos, you can license it from him. We'll find out how in just a second. Here it is, his latest hit, Taxes to Pedophiles.
Out on the edge of the Milky Way's arm, there's a hard-working man working hard on his farm. The so-called stars, how they play their games. There's a dark little secret that's calling their names. Epstein's Island, hidden away from our view, where the powerful gather, doing what they do. On the spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, there's a parasite sucking the blood of humanity. No one knows when it started, but it's sure been a while. Out in deep space, paying taxes to pedophiles.
I want to sing along. I can't help it. And there's Thomas Massey on the fiddle. Matt Baker, you've done it again. Welcome to the show, sir.
Harrison Smith, man, it is an absolute honor to be on the show with you. I mean, InfoWars is an incredible inspiration to all of us out here, man. Out here in deep space, listening to the InfoWar. Y'all helped wake me up, man. I mean, I've been listening to Alex Jones since I was a little kid, man. I mean, I was listening to him when he was making movies, before even I knew he was on the air. Heard about the 9/11 and what was going on with that, man, and he called that thing to a T, man. It put chills in my spine knowing that he called that out, man, down to bin Laden and the World Trade Center. Not only that, what the amount of people he saved during COVID, so many people that didn't take the shot, including yours truly and my cousin, the ugly cousin, man. People say we look alike, man, but I got to tell you, man, that guy's an ugly mofo, man.
I don't see it.
He looked like he crawled out the hind end of something, man. I mean, I look good, man. You know, I'm about a foot taller and a couple of inches longer, if you get my drift.
Well, look, there's got to be some secret behind your massive success. I mean, you've risen like a rocket in the recent past. Obviously, the music is powerful, but the look goes into it. What inspired you to write these songs? I mean, wouldn't it have been easier just to avoid these topics entirely? I mean, you could have had a career on the road, probably opening up for some pretty big acts if you'd stuck to the old country songs about your truck and your dog. Well, why you got to ruffle the nest? Why you got to cause so many problems? Wouldn't it be easier to just stick with the classics?
No, man. I mean, this is the heart of country music, man. I mean, outlaw country, man, that was always about, you know, what you weren't allowed to do because, man, screw the man if they don't want you to smoke weed or they don't want you, you know, shooting guns, man. That's the outlaw country sound. Now, the thing is, in this day and age, I mean, weed's legal, sex is legal, hell, everything's legal. You can cut your goddamn ding-a-ling off and they'll celebrate you, man. But you know what? The only thing that is really and truly outlawed right now, Harrison, and that is the truth. And the God's honest truth is the most outlawed thing in this world. And that's why, as a country singer and as an artist, I feel necessary to spread my word out there and to get the truth, the real truth, and nothing but the truth, brother.
You know, your timing for this song, really impeccable. Obviously, it coincided with the release of the Epstein files. Was that intended or was that just a happy coincidence?
Well, you know, it's crazy that you asked me that, Harrison, because I was actually working on this a while ago, almost 2 months ago, you know, and I was pecking away at it, you know, I was honing down them verses, man, and I got to a point where I was getting close, man, but it was just still kind of on the back burner, you know, and then the Epstein files dropped, man, 3 million files, man, an unbelievable amount of information about these goddamn pedophiles running the world, man. And they're pissing in our faces right now. So I got in the studio, man, and I put in hours. And, you know, Thomas Massey, man, he was an absolute doll the whole time, man. He's a busy dude. And, you know, he picked up the melody real quick. You know, Morgan Oriel on the drums, she's great, you know. And Luke Slywaker, man, he plays a mean bass, man. But while I'm giving shout outs, I want to do this before I forget, because I know we don't have too much time. There's a friend of mine, another artist, a group of people that they're on Twitter. They're called America AF. Now, they make these wooden signs, and I believe Owen Schroer's got one of their flags. They make real, true Americana. They make them with their bare hands. America AF, that's Deborah and Flip. And the reason why I'm bringing them up, not only because they are American patriots who are actually at J6, they're called the J6 couple, but they're spending their time making real Americana art, you know, putting their life and their soul into it. But the real reason is I want to shout out to their daughter, Vera, okay? She's a young lady and she's going through a lot of trouble right now. And she ended up in the hospital, man. She was thinking about doing the worst, if you get my drift. And Flip called me and he called a lot of other patriots. She's a huge fan of you and she's a huge fan of Alex and me. She just got tickled by us sending her a couple of videos and let her know that we're thinking about her and she's important and she's special, you know, because like I told her, if you're not feeling weird in this world, man, then there's something wrong with you. When you wake up in the morning and you realize your world is run by a bunch of goddamn pedophiles and it's not good enough for them to screw the kids, they're going to charge you for it. They're going to tax you for it. They're going to take your money and then they're going to kill people around the world. And then they're going to ruin your reputation and call that America's out there killing when they're fighting these Jewish wars. Now, I heard you bringing up the Jews a lot, which is quite fitting. Now, I'm not a big anti-Semite, but man, these guys are out of control right now. And it's too much, man. During COVID, I was calling out Anthony Fauci because he was the one trying to lock me up and tell me I can't talk and stealing my YouTube channel. And now the one who's doing that to me is these Jews. And that's what they call themselves. I'm not calling them a pejorative term. This is the name they give themselves. This is the name the chosen people, right? Now, here's the thing. I heard you talking earlier, and you know, people used to hate on white people, or they've got this thing, you know, white people and slavery and all. But it turns out that a lot of the slavery action was actually being run and produced by the Jews back then. And that doesn't really matter. We as white people, when they talk about slavery, we have rejected it. We are wholeheartedly, whole hog rejected that notion. And even the people who want America first aren't talking about enslaving other people. That is not our deal. That is not our gig. And hell, it may never have been in the first place. They just pinned it on us. But now when you call out a Jewish person, an individual, I got a lot of good friends, Jewish friends, and they're not all bad, But when you say, you're running the banks, or you're running the media, or you're running the porn, or you're creating a genocide, they don't say, oh, no, we reject that. What they say is that's anti-Semitic. So, I mean, they should have just said saying slavery was bad was anti-Semitic. They could have kept the racket going, Harrison. You feel my drift?
Oh, that's strategically very, very smart. Yes, I think I see exactly what you're saying. Absolutely. Now, that's still a pretty controversial statement. Have you had any problems with your record label, perhaps? Of course, we've had IMA on quite a few times. She wrote just a few lines about the genocide in Gaza, and she was kicked immediately by her label and lost her representation. Have you run into trouble like that, sir?
Well, let me tell you, I learned a lot, just from your show and just even seeing Kanye West on there. And, I knew when I was releasing these albums, I knew I was going to get in trouble. But, that's what I'm saying. As American, the First Amendment, and God forbid we ever need the Second Amendment. And what that's for is when they take the first away. And the geniuses that created this country, they put it up in such a way that you would be able to control your future and your destiny by speaking out your mind. And when someone tries to stop you from doing that, man, you got to do everything you can. I got to give a shout out to Jake Lang, man. I mean, a lot of people think he's a Fed. He's on there talking about, his militia, so on and so forth. He says some crazy stuff, but man, that boy, I said it before and I'll say it again. He's got balls, and he literally puts them on the line, man, because there ain't nothing stopping him getting shot or having his balls cut off like he was out there. It looked like he was doing the splits when they were lynching that boy. And, I got to say, I want to talk to his lawyer right now, because to me, I don't know, did they get a permit for that ice structure? And I mean, when does water become ice, and when does ice become art? And when does it become a law that I cannot interfere with water molecules?
It's a great question.
You're going to tell me if I jump into a pool that I'm interfering with the structure of the water molecules? I'm sorry, that don't fly around here. And I don't think they had a permit. Just like Owen Schroyer, man, they had people in the Capitol protesting everything. That boy stands up there with a thing on his mouth, and they shut him down because it's rules for thee and not for me. And unfortunately, we are not in the big club, as you know, Harrison.
Absolutely. And it seems like your song is sort of the natural progression from something like Oliver Anthony, The Richmond, North of Richmond, sort of a similar mindset, similar frustration you're expressing. Why are we working our fingers to the bone just to help a bunch of evil satanic pedophiles? It's a great question. What do we do about this? And especially as you bring up the young lady, Americana F7 on X. It's
her daughter, Flip's daughter, Vera, is the one who I'm sending the shout out to. Well,
we need people like her around. And I was saying yesterday, the two things we need to avoid, I'm getting into a country accent here, and you hear, this is what happens. I'm from Texas.
That's all right, man. You from Texas.
Whenever I'm out working with in the yard or whatever with people with Texas accents, mine starts coming out.
They got good burritos out there, man. I don't know, man. I'm out here in California. This other Matt, he's got a lot of good burritos out here, though, man. They give the Tex-Mex a run for its money out here in San Diego.
Yeah, if you like, I don't know, pineapple in your burrito or something. No, it's simple Mexican food for us. Thank you very much. We don't need any.
Man, there ain't no pineapples, man. We're talking about a carne asada burrito, some guacamole, man. Good stuff.
The real the diversity we appreciate and enjoy. But I've been saying we need to avoid these two outcomes. One outcome is people just go off their head and just go, oh, it's all the Jews and Hitler was right, and just goes way overboard and gives the bad guys exactly what they want because they depend on the hatred to get the funding for the ADL and all this other stuff that's actually the mechanism by which they enslave us. So that's one option, is the overreach, the overreaction. Then the other thing we want to avoid is that all this comes out, all these misdeeds are exposed, and then nothing happens and nobody gets arrested.
Yeah, let me talk about that, because I was thinking about that before I called in or came on your show here. Well, number one, the Hegelian dialectic, which Alex Jones is really popularized, but it's a thing that the ruling elite has used a long time. I mean, when the burning of Rome and all these things, They basically create a false flag. It's the oldest trick in the book. So you don't want to feed into their thing. But at the same time, Harrison, I mean, we are being groomed by these people, because a grooming process, you would do to a child, you touch them, do this, and you get them used to it. Or if you're a pimp, you slap the hoe, you know what I mean? Keep her in line. You got to keep that pimp hand strong. Now, if you cheat on your wife, God forbid, and, maybe you have a moment of weakness at some point in time, that's one thing, but you keep that to yourself. Now, if you go in there and you brag to her and she stays with you, you have broken that woman. And that is where we are at right now as a country and as a people. And that's what I mean about the smoking hopium thing, man. And I mean, that song, no joke. I was listening to Alex Jones, and I mean this. And a dude called in. He's like, man, I just want to believe. I just need another hit of hopium. And I mean, God's honest truth. That's what he literally said. And I was like, oh my God, man, people are literally addicted to this feeling. They've got to believe it, but there ain't nobody coming to save you. And I'm not trying to be a downer, the whole Matt Baker and the black pillars. I mean, I believe the black pill is a necessary evil. I feel it's like the medicine, it's working when it don't taste good. Right. Mm-hmm. So it's the same way as you deal with, like, I was in AA for a while. I had a little bit of trouble with drugs and stuff. I grew up in a blue collar family. I'm third generation construction worker. We work with our hands. And, sometimes after work, you have a little bit too much. But what I learned about addiction is the number one thing you have to do is you have to admit you have a problem. Okay. One day you wake up and you look at yourself in the mirror. You say, Matt, you have got a problem. You've got to stop this. You got to do something, man. And that's where America's at right now, man. We got to look collectively in the mirror at ourselves and say, America, you have a problem. And we got to know how deep it is and how bad it is. And we got to hit that rock bottom and understand exactly how deep this rabbit hole goes before we can really start turning it around. And I've seen it in my life. I've seen it in other people's lives. And I just don't see any reason why it couldn't happen with a country and a whole nation.
That's such a good point. And that actually goes along with what I always say is that when you take these psychological operations, whether it's against a small group like a cult or individuals, as you point out, I mean, beating your wife, I mean, it's the same dynamics that inform, the pseudo slavery that we're in. It's the same methods that are applied at the national level. You're exactly right. It's these intrinsic, natural levers in the human mind that can be pulled by people with bad intentions. And it's the same thing that they do as a husband abusing his wife, as a cult leader abusing his followers, or as politicians abusing the nation. You're exactly right. It's all the same mechanism. And that's really brilliant that we got to recognize we have a problem before we can ever solve it. You're exactly right. Again, my guest is Matt with 3 T's, Baker.
3 T's, man.
_2.
Foot taller and a couple inches longer. Don't forget it.
And your hair's nicer and the smile's
man, it's luxurious. This is luxurious. My beard's looking a lot nicer, a lot thicker. His is kind of scruffy.
It absolutely is.
He's a good dude, man. He let me in his studio. I'm just joshing with you, man. He's probably around here somewhere, but I don't know if he's going to make it in. I think he's out walking the dog or something.
He's probably going. He might not be.
He might be. He might be hitting the wacky tobacco, man. But at least he ain't smoking hopium, man. He's all right there, man. He's a good guy.
Smoking hopium. That's really, people are addicted to that idea.
Man. That'll screw you up. You'll smoke yourself retarded, man. You think weed gonna make you stupid, man? That ain't gonna do it. The smoking hopium, that's what will put you in a hole, man.
Okay, so we're
6 feet deep.
We're trying to thread the needle here, right? Because we're not smoking hopium. We're not just putting our hope in something that doesn't exist, but we're also not accepting defeat and accepting that all these powerful people are able to do this to us without consequence. So how do we thread that needle? How do we remain hopeful that there is a solution, that we can fix things, that we don't just give up and roll over, while not trusting to people that are selling us bullcrap? How do we do this?
Well, I think, Alex Jones always says, as long as you're in the battle, then you have not lost. So as long as you are still fighting is whoever gives up first, So, I mean, this battle ain't going nowhere. I don't foresee that we win in a triumphant ending victory, like the video game that I have in the end of my video there. But what I do see is that we continue to keep our morale up. And like I said, just because I'm black pilling and just because I'm looking the world and the truth in the eye and I'm admitting the problem, doesn't mean I'm not inspired. It doesn't mean I don't look up at the Milky Way in awe. And every time you look up at that Milky Way, I don't want you to feel like, oh my God, I'm trapped by these bastards. I want you to see how beautiful this universe is. And I want you to see that we still have all of the potential God's given us since we were born. I mean, you see what happened with black people. They were oppressed, and the Jewish people. And sometimes it's this pressure that makes these diamonds, man. And you just take in, internalize whatever's coming at you and just don't give up and keep pushing on through. And you'd be amazed at the amount of, inspiration that you can get and the passion. It's the animating liberty contest of liberty. That is, I'm sorry. It's crazy, Harrison. I'm actually a little nervous on this show. I've like played concerts on the moon, and I've like sung in front of thousands of people, and just being on your show, it's got me giddy. I feel like butterflies, man. This is amazing. I feel like I'm in an out of body experience right now.
Well, it's, you are a true superstar, and that is really something. But
man,
I guess
I'm just like y'all. Just like y'all.
But when you're up there on stage, on the moon, the thousands of people looking at you, I guess that's sort of your element. I guess the nervousness goes away because you know what you're doing and you're in command. What does that feel like?
Well, man, it's like snowboarding. When I was a kid, I used to run down hills, and it was the weirdest thing. And nobody taught me this. You get going so fast that there's no way you can stop. You just have to keep jumping over trees and rolling and doing stuff. And it's the adrenaline, and you just focus on your next move, and you just stay in the zone, man. You just ride it out, man. And when you got a couple of cuties in the front row singing a song along with you, man, that don't hurt neither.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can only imagine. You're entering a flow state is what you're talking about, entering a flow state. So, I
want to talk about that real quick. Sorry, nothing would cut you off.
Go ahead.
But I mean, that is literally what the evil bastards are trying to do when they divide us, or they try to make us feel helpless, or that they are our pimp and we have given up. That is what they're trying to do. They're trying to trap your soul, and therein lies your flow, my friend.
What advice do you have to people who would like to follow in your footsteps, who maybe have some songs of their own that they want to get out there? I mean, again, you've had some incredible success, and tell us how people can find the song and how they can share it and download it and all of that, because we need to keep pushing this thing up the charts. Right now, it's only got 2 songs on it, so it's at the top of the charts as it stands now. But we want to keep that popularity going. How can people find your stuff, and how can people do what you do?
Well, ain't nobody going to do what I do, man. I'm sorry. I can't help you there. But I tell you what you can do is you can help me. You can help this battle, and you can play this song. You can call in your local radio station, because this is on all platforms. You can request. This is how they used to do it back in the day. They would have people call in like Trump did. He calls in. He's like, oh, Trump's a good guy. He does that stuff. They call in and ask for the song to play, man. Call them up and say, play Smoke and Hopium. And if you don't want to say Texas, the Pedophiles, that I actually have the song out there, and with another name, a little softer name that some people might get in under the radar. It's called Out in Deep Space. Out in Deep Space is the first part of the hook. The second part is paying taxes to pedophiles. Now that's more catchy, but a lot of these people, they'll shut you down if you try and tell them that right up front.
Right.
But now you can play this on your Instagram reels or whatever. Like, you use a sound on an Instagram reel or on a TikTok. You put it on there, and you go out and play it. You show pictures of these damn pedos, and you play that music in the background. And every time that plays, it tells the algorithm what to do. And another thing you can do is you can download it. You can download it on iTunes. You can play it on Spotify. You can stream it. But what I really want to do, Harrison, what I really see in my heart now, I hope maybe Jake Lang would do this for me, or one of the people out there at these protests, like bump this song. Like back during COVID, I was bumping Jimmy Levy every time we would do a protest. Like, go outside of a building of these damn pedos and bump that song and make a big scene out of it and upload it, man. If you don't even have a platform, I'll do it, and I'll get my little cousin to post that up too. He's got a pretty big following there on TikTok and X.
I know you're using his X account to help get your message out there.
I'm old school, Harrison. I don't even have a smartphone. I'm still using the pager, man. Back when
That's dangerous.
I was working on the pipelines, and they just had a pager, and ever since then, that's all I got. So he hooks me up. I'll give him a hard time, but Matt's a good dude, and he You just follow him at slave_2_liberty. You get hold of me there and just use 3 T's, and that way we'll know who you're talking to.
Absolutely. Well, you tell your cousin I say hi. We'll have to reconnect with him soon. But this has been absolutely fantastic. Congratulations on the success of your new song. We're going to go out with that song. It's called Taxes to Pedophiles, also known as Out in Deep Space, from Matt Baker at slave_2_liberty. Here it is.
Damn straight.
Out on the edge, of the Milky Way's arm, there's a hard-working man working hard on his farm.
Whatever the future may hold, InfoWars will always live forever. The fight will continue. Be sure to follow us on X at RealAlexJones and at AJN Live. And now you can download the #1 news app in the world. Go to AlexJonesApp.com and let the Democrat Deep State Party know that we will never be silenced.
One of the most important things to me in my life is to get things right and to tell the truth and to be accurate. That's why they say Alex Jones is right. But it's not just our news, our prediction, or information that are incredibly accurate. It's the products. And out of all the amazing supplements at thealexjonestore.com, our methylene blue, ultra methylene blue, is the best you're going to find on the market. It's so good for your body. Instant, clean, amazing energy. You owe it to yourself, if you sat on the fence, to go to thealexjonestore.com right now and get ultra methylene blue. And believe me, you are going to want to reorder it again. We have an 84% reorder on that product. No other supplement anywhere has anything even close. That is how amazing it is. Secure your ultra methylene blue now at thealexjonestore.com, and thanks for keeping us on the air.
Repeat what you said is happening. You feel in the...
I feel like that stuff in my fingers. I feel tingling fingers.
There's the camera. Blast them with full power right there. Ah!